to tell you a little bit about Dr. Jeremiah Krieger. He is a graduate of Emperor's College and is the first doctor of Chinese medicine and licensed acupuncturist to be hired at the Greater Los Angeles Veterans Administration. This is one of the largest VAs in the country and serves over 80,000 veterans. Dr. Krieger is part of the integrative medicine team treating veterans with severe chronic pain and PTSD. Under his leadership, we are very excited to partner with the VA. Emperor's College will be launching an externship in 2023 where our interns our doctoral students will be a part of the Whole Health Initiative, bringing complementary medicine and integrative health therapies to veterans. So that's a celebration as well. In addition to his work at the VA, Dr. Krieger does have a thriving private practice of over 18 years here in the Los Angeles area. He is passionate about Chinese medicine and beloved by his patients. You will come to soon find out why. He has some great stories to tell us. Dr. Krieger is known for his strong belief in kindness and excellence in medicine. We need more of that, right? We need more of that. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Dr. Jeremiah Krieger.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is a huge honor to be with you all today. A joy to celebrate such a great accomplishment. Class of 2022, here you are. You've made it. I stand before you as excited about Chinese medicine today as I was nearly 20 years ago sitting in your seats. You picked an incredible field, and you picked it at the right time. We have a profession full of meaning and richness. I hop out of bed, thrilled every day to get to work and to see the gifts of this medicine in action. I want to start by sharing one of those gifts. It was the gift of my favorite clinical experience. So I had a woman who was referred to me who was 22 weeks pregnant. Pregnancy is supposed to be 40 weeks. And she was in labor. She was in her third day of labor. Her doctors had tried to stop her pregnancy contractions with a medication that didn't work. And finally, her obstetrician sent her home to rest, to take a bath, to pack a bag, and come back and deliver a baby that was not yet viable. So she was referred to me by a friend who knew me, and she came in, and when she came that day for care, she was having contractions every 90 seconds. Her belly was low. She was having a lot of down-bearing pressure, and she was in duress, right? No pressure while somebody potentially loses a baby on your table. The heat was on. And so I checked her out from a Chinese medical perspective. Her body was exhausted. Her system just didn't have the resources to fund the pregnancy. And so I set about putting in the points that strengthened, that lifted, that resourced her. And I sat at the end of the table and I gently held a point at the top of the head that lifts and secures the fetus. 5 minutes goes by, nothing. 10 minutes goes by, nothing. 15 minutes goes by, I start to get worried. And about 16, 17 minutes, and all of a sudden her belly rumbles, moves up 3.5 inches or so. She burst into tears and said, "I don't know what just happened, but I know my baby's gonna be okay." And together, we were able to get her to full term, and she has got a beautiful little girl. And that is the gift of this medicine. That is the inheritance that you guys are stepping into. You have been given the refined knowledge of 3,000 years worth of East Asia's brightest clinicians. It's hard to fully put into words how powerful all that clinical experience and testing has been. And through this medicine, your lives are about to touch thousands of other people's lives. It's a really beautiful thing. William Osler, one of the founders of Johns Hopkins, has a quote that I love. He said, "The practice of medicine is an art, not a trade. It's a calling, not a business. It's a calling in which your head will be exercised less than your heart. Your heart will be exercised more than your head." I want to thank emperors for leading in our field. I am so grateful. Emperors is always upping the quality of education. Emperors is setting the standard that most other schools and people try to achieve. And thanks to the work here, we are a well-respected and sought-out profession. And Dr. Kim, that is your legacy. For the families and guests, becoming a practitioner of Chinese medicine is an enormous undertaking. Nothing short of inspiring. We're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 hours of class time and training, including subjects like anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, Western clinical medicine, pharmacology, training in how to evaluate and interpret MRI reports, CT scans, ultrasounds, complex blood assays, the physics of medicine, nutrition, medical ethics. It is a ton of material, and that is just the Western part. East Asian medical theory is a vast topic in and of itself. Learning the meridians and nearly 400 acupuncture points, having to know what every point does, what other points it's supposed to be combined with, exactly how you place it in the body, what angle, how deep, every muscle, bone, blood vessel, nerve that it comes near. Add to that almost 400 herbs and 150 formulas. It is a tremendous amount of dedication. So I hope today you take a moment to share with your grads how proud you are of them and to really recognize how much effort went into this moment. The body of science validating this medicine is growing by the day. We know that acupuncture releases chemicals within the body that are pain relievers, that are mood elevators, that help the brain to rewire itself out of unhealthy patterns. We know that it increases circulation to injury sites and it reduces inflammation in the body. And we are learning more all the time. The ancient Chinese were brilliant. Long before modern biochemistry, they found every class of drug we enjoy today. Think about blood thinners, antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, a variety of pain relievers, hormone replacement therapy. It's all present in the plants of this medicine. And part of the beauty of that medicine is that we are able to make interventions in a patient's health that are equally effective as many pharmaceuticals with a lot less side effects. The Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2015 was given to a woman who successfully studied the active compound in the herb used to treat malaria through ancient China. And thanks to that ingredient, millions of lives have been saved. And that is just one of the many treasures that Chinese medicine has gifted to modern medicine and to us all. And yet the greatest beauty of Chinese medicine is not in treating disease, but it's in building health. You have the tools to replenish your patients. You have the tools to teach them how to empower themselves to take care of their best health. You have the ability to find and fix imbalances before they even become symptoms. I encourage you to teach your patients self-care and to make it important to take care of yourselves as well along the way. Remind your patients. Remind them that they have an incredible capacity to heal, that our bodies and our minds and our spirits are so resilient and so regenerative. Discover your patients' joys, their gifts, their talents, their interests, and encourage them to engage in them, because that is one of the true fountainheads of health, when we do things we love. Being a doctor of Chinese medicine means being tapped into the fundamental wiring harness of a human being. Knowing and understanding the myriad connections between the parts of our body. Via acupuncture, we are able to directly influence, immediately and powerfully, the internal climate of a person. Further, we are taught to understand and to use the help of the mind and the spirit and the emotions in healing. Like a roadmap with many ways to get to the same destination, Chinese medicine requires knowledge of the map, but it also requires art. It is an art to know which of the 30 ways that get you to the place you want to go is the best way, the most efficient way, and the one that will land the deepest for the person in front of you. Just how effective is this medicine? It still blows me away every day. I'd like to share a couple examples of healing to try to make it real. Recently, I was referred a surgeon who was about to go on medical leave. Their hands were going numb, they couldn't hold instruments. This was somebody who had tried everything. I was their last stop. Injections, physical therapy, medications, they had thrown everything at it they could, and they were really about to have to stop doing surgery. What was said to me is, hey, if you can guarantee me this isn't gonna cause me some grievous harm, I'm willing to try it, I'm just that desperate. And I said, hey, healthy skepticism is always good. Never abandon your critical thinking, but let's see what we can get done for you. And in one treatment, 70% of the feeling came back to their hands. And in 3 treatments, they were back to doing surgery. Or a war veteran that I treated who has compartment syndrome. This is somebody whose legs swole so badly, was infected, had to have multiple surgeries. Talking 12 surgeries, skin grafts, hyperbaric oxygen. And what he said to me is, Doc, most of the time this leg is a 10 out of 10 pain source. And the few moments it's not, it just feels like a dead stump I walk around on. It's ice cold. And we gave him treatments. And over the course of those treatments, his leg turned from ashen gray to pink again. His leg went from ice cold to warm. His pain episodes went from 12 to 15 times a month to 2. He went from a limb that felt like a stilt he walked on to something that had mobility and was connected. That is the legacy of this medicine. There are so many more examples in a variety of disciplines, from gastroenterology to mental health, the whole gamut. But I won't make you listen to them all. But I ask you to consider future doctors before me. How many amazing moments like that await you? How many lives are you going to touch? This is a great field you're entering, and you have picked the perfect time. We went from being disregarded to respected and sought after. I currently work with a team of highly accomplished MDs at the VA. Doctors from Harvard, UCSF, UCLA, medical school professors from a variety of specialties. And these people greet us and what we do with tremendous reverence and deference. And that is a change. And that is so much better for our patients. They are open to working together as a team for the best outcomes for the people we serve. I've also been invited to work in the emergency room. That is the depth of integration that is starting to happen here. And it is amazing to see people not need morphine drips when they have broken bones or torn muscles, or to see someone who cannot stop vomiting stop after a minute of having stomach 36 in, if you guys probably all know. or to see people in respiratory distress be able to catch a real and full breath. As you share in this teamwork and in this responsibility as healthcare professionals, remember too that you are an ambassador of this medicine. Make the effort to explain what we do in terms that your MD companions can understand and embrace. Stay humble. Medicine is a team sport. Not one of us has all the answers. Not us as individual practitioners, not our field of medicine, not our specialty. We all bring something to the table, and patients are best served when we work together. I remember when I was leaving Chinese medical school, being a little scared. I was used to having a brain trust around me. There were people I could ask for help or what to do at all times. And just know that as you leave this day, you are not walking out there alone. You have each other, and you have us. We're just a call away. And the most basic things you have been taught are extremely powerful. 3,000 years worth of knowledge has been distilled down into things that work, and you can rely on them. My most heartfelt and important advice to you is to never underestimate the power of kindness in medicine. Focus on treating your patients like cherished family members. Care for them, do not commoditize them. If you relate to them that way, if you care for them that way, your practice will grow and thrive. Take time and listen. People are so rarely listened to with any depth in this world. And one of the most powerful tools you have is to really get quiet and hear someone deeply. You won't miss any of the information you need to help them. And any intervention you do, when you have your patients' trust, when they feel heard, when they feel cared for, is going to work more effectively. Western or Eastern interventions. I encourage you too to help your patients see the gifts in illness. As human beings, we tend to do our status quo, and we do it until we're backed into a corner that makes us change. And that is the gift of illness. Your symptoms are your teachers. They're here as messages from your body and your mind and your spirit, letting you know that something's off course. And although there is pain at times we deal with, these things have incredible blessings. They have huge gifts to teach us. Help your patients mind those. Help them use them. Challenges are fundamental to life, but they can be powerful catalysts for growth. Life is messy, so keep a sense of humor. Mistakes just mean you're participating. Find them funny and learn from them. You will make them, and you can help your patients learn to laugh at them too, for themselves. Teach from your experience. You do not have to have all the answers as you practice medicine. I like to say that in me is great and deep wisdom, and it lives right next door to great and deep stupidity. And they both somehow coexist in the same man. Remember that you grow what you focus on in others. And beyond seeing people's imbalances, it is your oath to see their strengths, to see their well-being so clearly that they can't help but see more of it for themselves. Be a lifelong learner, stay curious, dig deeper. A good doctor quickly realizes that the learning and the gifts of medicine flow in both directions. It's not just us doing something for the patients. We get so much from our patients. There's a saying that goes, those who don't read live only one life, and those who read live 1,000. Every person you treat is another life story you get brought along. It's a chance to learn from their experience and how they face their challenges. It is a sacred trust, and if you let it, it will change you. I like to say the practice of medicine will grow your life. It will open you, humble you, shatter you, and make you anew. Ram Dass once described the sensation of his heart opening as infinite, unbearable compassion. I encourage you not to be afraid. Jump in with both feet. This medicine will be your own alchemy, and you will be the better for it. You're going to be with some patients as they welcome life into the world, and you're going to be with some as they exit it. Please take away the unrealistic expectation that you can fix and heal everything. You cannot always cure, but you can always care. Your job is to share the best of Chinese medicine, to share the best of your goodwill, and to let go of the results. We don't directly control those. Sometimes it will create miracles, and sometimes your efforts will fall flat on the floor. Accept and adapt, learn, and always give your best effort. Remember that even simple things can have deep roots. I recall a patient that came to me with carpal tunnel syndrome. She had a computer job. Year after year, all day long, she was mouse clicking and typing. It's about the most mundane physical cause that you could think. Nothing else deep going on here. But in taking the time to get to know her well, in asking and building trust, what I found out is that at 5 years old, she was swimming with a friend who drowned. And she had held from the time she was a little girl that because she couldn't save her friend, she was responsible for her death. This woman hated computers, and it was her way, her own private way of punishing herself, of making sure that she suffered for her failure. And what opened up was a conversation that was so deep and so beautiful, and to help her see the responsibilities of adults and the lack of a 5-year-old to understand danger properly, and to sit with the question of what does it mean to honor a human life, and to watch this story that her mind had created that drove so much suffering dissolve, and to see her embrace that living her most joyful life, that creating as much good and happiness in the world was truly the best testament to her friend. And that's what she did. She quit that job. She started pursuing what she loved. And she made a point every week of going to do things that were like random acts of kindness, quietly in the name of her friend. And that is the power of going deep, even with the simple things. Don't forget to do that. The next time you take a patient's pulse, pause searching for all the qualities that you're used to finding. Is it rapid? Is it thin? Is it tight? Is it rolling? Is it deep? Take in for a moment the beauty of the medicine you practice that insists that you get quiet, that you pause and listen to the essence and the heartbeat of another human being before you treat them. What you will learn from that will make this medicine rich for you, and will make what you do have impact. I'm biased, but I think it takes a special kind of person to do this medicine. And as I look out, I see a lot of incredible people, a lot of beautiful souls, a lot of really kind, smart human beings. It is an honor to be counted among you, and it is an honor to welcome you into our field as colleagues. I am proud of you, your school is proud of you, your family and friends are proud of you. It took a lot of determination and heart to get to this moment. I guess I want to close with just one simple thing. Above all else, if you heard nothing else in today's talk, my most sacred advice to you is never underestimate the power of kindness in medicine. It costs nothing to give, and it gives everything you do twice the effect. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you, Dr. Krieger. I do